Angel. Girl, you're my angel. You're my darling. Angel Reese back up to her old bag of tricks.
So the Chicago Sky are an absolute, disaster right now. They're an absolute disaster.
We have commentators laughing at this.
Washington has done that incredibly well so far. Reese missed the first one, still with it blocked.
They realized that they were laughing and then quickly stopped themselves like, oh, I can't laugh. I'm live right now. I can't laugh. I'm live right now.
The basketball world is ablaze with controversy, and as Chicago Sky collapses and burns around its purported franchise player, Angel Reese's multi-million-dollar collaboration with Reebok faces its ultimate test. The brutal reality on the court is portraying an entirely different tale, leaving executives wondering if they gambled on the wrong horse, even if Reebok doubled down on their commitment with a major contract extension and signature shoe agreement slated for 2026.
Angel Reese would have become the most popular player in the WNBA dump. Well, Casey, that's simply not possible.
Let's dissect this catastrophe in real time. Angel Reese appeared to be living in a fantasy world in October 2024. She is only the second WNBA athlete in Reebok's history to agree to a multi-year contract extension and receive a signature shoe deal.
Chicago Sky star Angel Reese has agreed to a multi-year endorsement contract extension with Reebok, with the signature shoe release in 2026. Reese set the rookie record for rebounds in a single season.
The press release, which hails her as the future of women's basketball, reads like a love letter from Reebok. Angel writes on Twitter, "God is amazing. It appears that I can now pay my bills," using emojis of laughter as if she had won the lottery. When 2025 rolls around, the terror starts. Chicago, while their best player is posting the most disgraceful stats in professional basketball, Sky begins the season with a pitiful 24 record and 5th place in the Eastern Conference.
Believe it or not, as long as there's a hoop and I can somewhere to put my bag, I'm cool with hooping. Coming to Chicago, obviously other teams were interested in drafting me. I was like, I want to come to Chicago where we can build.
But hold on, things get worse. Her two-point shooting percentage has fallen to 30.8%, a 10% decrease from the previous campaign. Take a moment to consider that. A professional basketball player who receives millions of dollars from Reebok to showcase their brand yet is unable to make simple shots inside the paint. When your star player is getting blocked 8 times in the first few games and leading the league in shots denied, the optics are absolutely awful.
For starters, think about how embarrassing that has to be for Angel Reese. Your team is so pathetic. Your team is such a flaming ass fire that opposing coaches are threatening to punish their players if they lose to you.
Angel Reese is in the epicenter of the mayhem that has engulfed the Chicago Sky organization. Since her injury, the club has lost 8 games in a row without her. Here's the harsh reality though. Her presence on the floor doesn't really improve things. Coach Tyler Marsh is voicing his displeasure in a straightforward manner, highlighting their glaring shortcomings without placing the responsibility squarely on their purported franchise cornerstone. The most recent losses are heartbreaking and demonstrate that Reebok made a mistake.
Since last year, I have been telling you guys that Angel Reese is not an impact player. I was wrong. As it turns out, Angel Reese is an impact player. She has a major impact on losing.
With 7 victories and 21 losses, the Chicago Sky are currently in 12th place in the standings, and Angel Reese sees her endorsement value decline with each crushing setback. Chicago had the worst point differential in WNBA history after losing to the New York Liberty by a score of 99-74 in the first 2 games of the season.
As expected, Angel Reese once again failed to step up in a big moment.
However, this is where Reebok's investment is humiliated. Angel Reese did not score a single field goal in his 28 minutes of play during that heartbreaking Liberty loss. Imagine this, as your star athlete is blasted out on national television, they give it their all.
So lads, I just watched the Chicago Sky and New York Liberty game and I kind of wish I didn't. This was horrendous. All around horrendous.
She even declined to take a shot at one point, displaying the kind of mental collapse that worries brand executives. The blowout losses continue to mount like an unending nightmare. The Chicago Sky began the season with 3 consecutive crushing defeats, making Angel Reese the face of unprecedented failure. Then, in an 85-66 thrashing that saw the Liberty lead from beginning to end, they were destroyed once more by the New York Liberty.
And ironically, in a day where I think Caitlin Clark played one of the best games of her career, Angel Reese played the worst game of her career.
For the Fever from Indiana. I didn't anticipate that we would do that though. We won't be able to win 5 straight games in my opinion. Executives at Reebok are presumably experiencing panic attacks as they watch their investment implode. In real time, they agreed on a multi-year extension with plans for 2026 signature shoes. What precisely are they advocating though? A player whose squad is disintegrating around her and who is shooting worse than the majority of high school JV players. In June 2025, the attractively rugged shoe series went on sale for $120. However, supporters wonder why it's so lovely to lose to inexperienced bench players. The psychological conflict is amazing. The team's attitude and degree of effort are being revealed by Angel Ree's own teammates in awkward ways. The athlete who is meant to be the focal point of the team is immediately impacted when the culture and work ethic of your own locker room are being questioned. She wasn't signed by Reebok to be a part of a losing culture. She was signed as a winner and a symbol of greatness.
For the Indiana Fever, that is something I didn't think we were going to do it. I didn't think we were going to be able to win 5 games in a row.
This is when things get hot. Reese claimed that during her debut season in 2024, her Chicago Sky colleagues weren't encouraging. In essence, she is blaming her own institution. She played for a Sky team that finished 13-27 and missed the playoffs completely, averaging 13.66 points and 13.1 rebounds. Now that she is shooting 30% from the field, she is griping about the lack of support. It isn't a support issue. That is a problem of skill. I think the irony is delightful. Reebok believed they were acquiring the next big thing in women's basketball, someone who could compete with Caitlin Clark in terms of marketability and supremacy on the floor. Rather, they acquired a player whose field goal percentage elevates Shaquille O'Neal's game-winning free throw shooting. While Ree is setting records for the most shots blocked and the lowest shooting efficiency, Clark is shattering attendance and television ratings records. The final twist, though, has everyone buzzing. With 7 technical fouls in just 22 games, Angel Ree leads the WNBA in this category and is just 1 technical penalty away from an automatic suspension. Reebok is spending a lot of money on a signature athlete who may be disqualified from competition due to her emotional instability on the court. What sort of brand image is being promoted by that? The ramifications for business are astounding. Reebok promised to launch a distinctive sneaker in 2026, but what will the marketing strategy entail at this rate? Invest on the Angel Reese ones, ideal for hitting 30% and receiving a suspension. Given that this collaboration is turning into a PR nightmare, the brand executives who approved this arrangement are most likely updating their resumes at the moment. Consider the disparity in brand value. While Angel Reese is pushing her team to the bottom of the standings, Caitlin Clark is generating sold-out arenas, record television ratings, and tremendous social media engagement.
The Angel Reese signature shoe is an embarrassment. I have a real problem with creating a shoe for someone and not actually giving a crap about putting effort into actual design of the shoe.
At Reebok's corporate meetings, executives from Nike and Adidas are undoubtedly laughing because they know they avoided a significant blow by avoiding a bidding battle for Ree. The problems facing the Chicago Sky extend far beyond Angel Reese. However, the spotlight shines brightest on you when you have the largest endorsement deals and the highest salary of any player. Through free agency, the team added Ariel Atkins and welcomed back veteran Courtney Vanderloot. However, when your vaunted franchise player is playing like she has forgotten how to shoot a basketball, all that skill is for nothing. This is the reason why Reebok finds this scenario hazardous. They cannot just sever relations without suffering severe financial consequences. However, promoting a struggling player further undermines the integrity of their brand. Every game in which Angel Ree performs poorly reflects poorly on Reebok's scouting and decision-making skills. They are bound by a deal with a player whose actions are deliberately undermining their reputation. Every game, the 2026 signature shoe reveal seems more and more like an error. Angel Reese may be more well known for her technical fouls and bad shooting than for any basketball accomplishments by the time those sneakers are on the market. In essence, Reebok is is urging consumers to purchase shoes that are recommended by a player who is incapable of making clutch shots. The problems with locker room chemistry are getting worse and worse. Everyone's performance suffers when Angel Reese implies that her teammates weren't encouraging. This causes animosity and division. Reebok didn't sign up to be linked to a harmful workplace culture and leadership that blames others. They desired a unifying presence that uplifts everyone in her vicinity. It's likely that Chicago Sky management is under pressure from all sides. They are having a disastrous season, the team dynamic is toxic, and their supposed franchise player is playing poorly. As their investment turns into a daily disgrace, they watch other young celebrities like A.A. Wilson and Caitlin Clark take center stage with their upbeat plots. The icing on top of this catastrophe is the technical foul problem. Sunday, Angel Ree is just one technical foul away from being suspended and missing games, which could result in the signature athlete for Reebok being prohibited from representing the company on national television. Consider the marketing sessions when executives must justify the inability of their high-end investment to remain on the court. However, this is the final query that keeps Reebok executives up at night. What would happen if Angel Reese kept going down until 2026? When the iconic shoes were meant to be released? Do they continue to market a shoe line that is backed by a player who consistently receives suspensions and shoots 30%? Or do they find a way to get out of this agreement despite the huge financial loss? The gods of basketball are administering poetic justice. While Angel Reese finds it difficult to control her emotions and hit simple shots, Caitlin Clark breaks rookie records and propels the league to new heights. There is no more clear contrast. While the other player causes chaos and dysfunction, the first player uplifts everyone in her vicinity. This smoking gun indicates that this collaboration is doomed. ESPN publicly acknowledged that Ree has been performing poorly, as seen by her shooting percentage falling from 39.1% to 31.3% from the previous season. It's not a slump. That is a total breakdown of basic basketball skills as executives at Reebok watch their investment burn up in the fire. The chemistry in the locker room is irreparably poisonous. Following her shenanigans on Thursday night, when she refused to shoot and made it clear that she was frustrated with her own team, reports indicate that Angel Ree's colleagues at the Chicago Sky are done with her. When your co-workers become frustrated with your demeanor following crushing defeats, it has a direct impact on the company that is paying you millions. But hold on, things get worse for Reebok. Even though this season, Angel Ree has averaged 14.2 points and 12.6 rebounds. Individual statistics are nothing when your team gets humiliated every night, which is why the Chicago Sky continue to finish on the losing side of WNBA history. Empty statistics don't pay for brands, they pay for success and cultural influence. This poor connection is made worse by the injury condition. Due of Angel Ree's recent absences from 2 consecutive games, Reebok's star athlete isn't even accessible to promote the company at important games. Paying top dollar for someone who is unable to continue playing is the epitome of a poor investment. Will Angel Ree salvage Reebok's investment after her awful performance? Or will this serve as a warning to companies to hold off on offering large endorsement deals to unproven products until they have witnessed real professional performance? Please,